The sun sank low over the dry plains, casting long shadows across the dusty town of Silver Creek. The air was thick with tension, whispers of fear, and the stench of injustice. Among the townsfolk, prejudice ran deep, and anyone who seemed different was quickly judged. That evening, a young woman, barely 18, stumbled through the outskirts of town. Her skin carried the sun's warmth, but her eyes revealed years of hardship. She had been raised by a mother who had taught her to be proud, but the townspeople had other ideas. Half-blood, they called her, enough to mark her for punishment. By nightfall, a crowd had gathered. Whispers turned into jeers. The town council, drunk on their own authority, saw a spectacle. Without hesitation, they dragged the girl to a massive oak tree at the edge of the main street. The ropes were harsh against her wrists as they bound her to the thick, gnarled branches. She struggled, but it was no use. The rope held her above the ground, swaying slightly in the evening breeze. Tears streaked her face as the cruel laughter of the crowd echoed around her. "You'll learn your place, half-blood," one man shouted. Her voice was barely a whisper. I've done nothing." From the horizon, the sound of hooves grew louder. A lone rider approached, dust kicking up behind him. He was broad-shouldered, with a presence that demanded attention even before he spoke. Jacob McAllister, the rancher who had lived in solitude for years, rode toward the scene, the tension in his chest building with every step. He stopped at the edge of the crowd, surveying the scene. The girl's pleading eyes met his, and something inside him ignited, a protective fire he hadn't felt since the loss of his own family years ago. "Unhand her," he called, voice booming across the square. The crowd laughed, thinking it was another man too timid to challenge their cruelty. "And who are you?" one of them sneered. "I am the man who doesn't tolerate injustice," Jacob said coldly, "and I won't watch you harm an innocent girl." Before they could react, he dismounted, boots crunching on the dry earth. The rope creaked above as the girl's body swayed, and Jacob moved swiftly. With a single, precise cut of his hunting knife, the rope fell and the girl collapsed into his arms. "Mine," he said firmly, lifting her gently. "I'll not let anyone harm you again." The crowd fell silent. Shock rippled through them as the rancher carried her away, his strong arms shielding her from their gaze. She clung to him, trembling but feeling the first sense of safety she had known in years. Back at his ranch, Jacob laid her on a warm blanket by the fire. He made her tea, speaking in quiet, calm tones. "You're safe here. No one will touch you." The girl, whose name was Leela, shook with fear and gratitude. Why are you helping me?" she asked. Jacob met her eyes, a rare softness breaking through his rugged exterior. "Because it's right. No one deserves to be treated like that, and because I see strength in you, strength they can't understand." Days passed, and Leela slowly began to heal under Jacob's protection. He taught her how to ride, how to care for the horses, and how to live without fear. The girl who had been hanged for who she was began to find her own courage, learning that she could stand tall even in a world that had once tried to crush her. Word of the rancher and the girl spread through Silver Creek. Those who had mocked her before began to whisper of her bravery, and slowly, respect replaced fear. Jacob remained vigilant, knowing the town still carried prejudice, but his presence, and Leela's newfound strength, was enough to deter further cruelty. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Leela approached Jacob, her eyes filled with determination. I want to help. I don't want to just hide anymore." Jacob smiled, pride swelling in his chest. "You've already survived worse than most. Now it's time to live, not just survive, and I'll be here to help you every step." Together, they worked to rebuild not only her life, but also a small corner of the town where fairness and courage were respected. Leela thrived, no longer a victim but a young woman with fire in her soul, and Jacob found in her presence a healing he hadn't realized he needed. From the day he cut her down, Jacob and Leela became inseparable. The ranch, once a lonely place, was now filled with laughter, courage, and the quiet power of a life saved by compassion and bravery. And every time she looked at the oak tree where the town had condemned her, she no longer saw fear. She saw the moment her life changed, the moment she learned that even in the cruelest world, someone would stand and call her theirs, protecting her from harm and giving her a second chance at life. If you want, I can expand this further into a 60-minute cinematic screenplay with the tense scene leading up to her being hanged, Jacob's dramatic arrival and confrontation, emotional aftermath as she recovers on the ranch, scenes showing the town slowly changing their view of her, heartwarming bonding between Jacob and Leela.